That's probably quite a controversial an opinion, I would think. But I think we joked about it. I think we're seeing more of that on social media because it's cooler to post that you're in the gym
Hmm.
than on your watt bike
Hmm.
doing doing some of the other work. So yeah, I mean, start opening up to what you're starting to find, what you're working on. Some of the stuff we started testing. Like I say, I've done my fair share of VO2 max and these intervals, and I do agree that it is a newer view on downhill is to incorporate the weight training.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely, I can compare my earliest training programs to probably some of my later ones. There was a good mix, but I understand what you're saying and saying like, be careful if you focus so much on that. And that was quite interesting in cross country. Someone would be like, look, you could work your ass off to get a percentage better on the climb, and that's a second, 2 seconds, whatever it is. I can get you that on the downhill tomorrow if we go and work on your skills. Like what should we be working on? Even though cross country, you would think it's the engine, right? It's
Yeah.
always the engine. It's like, well, free time, you could also get some free time on the downhill. And that doesn't mean you would, neglect the engine.
I'm slowly trying to process how we can articulate this well.
Okay.
So I think, like I said, what you have to understand is that performance in itself isn't one singular component. It is multifaceted. There are a lot of other metrics and components that we can talk about. So I'll quickly sort of spiel off a few of them. So physiology is something that we really need to tap into, and when we look at, physiology in sports, in particular, what I have been looking at recently is things like VO2 max, maximal lactate steady state, fat max, carb max, muscle oxygen saturation, and basically all things lactate dynamics. So that's how we can then work out, just like you said, does a person have a big enough engine? How do we measure the engine? Well, we measure it in VO2 max. Okay. Higher the VO2 max, higher
Can
the
you
engine
can
they've got.
you sorry, can you define that a little bit more on the layman terms? Because people might have heard VO2 max and
Hmm.
heard of that horrendous test, but could you simplify that for us?
Yeah. So all essentially VO2 max is it's your body's ability to uptake oxygen. So as we breathe in, as we're starting to work out, how much oxygen can we essentially breathe in and utilize? And the key component there is utilize, because you have a difference between peak oxygen uptake and VO2 max. So all we are essentially trying to work out there is how much oxygen can your body effectively breathe in, send to the working muscle groups, and utilize. And that'll give us something called VO2 max. And that is the gold standard for your aerobic capacity, your aerobic engine. That is, the higher that is, the better it is. And actually, I'm at that stage in my life where VO2 max is arguably the biggest performance indicator across any sport, any discipline.
Really?
Yeah, it is one of the, and not just that. I mean, once again, I could get carried away and try not to. Um, it's also the longevity element of it. The higher that
I was
is,
gonna say,
the
how about
long.
it's like a longevity drug, is it not?
Oh, totally. Like there is no better health benchmark on this planet right now than VO2 max. You can go and have all your tests done, your blood tests, your vitamin tests, your scans, whatever, bone density, whatever it may be. But the biggest indicator of longevity, as well as it being a high performance sort of measurement as well, is VO2 max. The higher that is, the longer you're going to live.